Just stories doesn't have to there's always violence everywhere. Just a few stories on how my PTSD um how it affected me. Um, all right, here quick story. We'll start with growing up in Los Angeles, California. You know, a lot of drugs, a lot of people trying to get money. A lot of people making money. From whatever it is. Um, some of it's bad. Some of us it's honest work. You know, but let me just tell you a few stories about Los Angeles. From my point of view. I mean, from my anyways. Well, I grew up in the '90s, man. I witnessed riots. I would live near the where it got started at. The liquor store where it got started. Anyways, long story short, man, there was a lot of races. Um, there was also a lot of gangs. Like I mentioned earlier. Drugs, money, guns. Cars, everything. Yes, there was so like I said, man, this is where my PTSD came from. I witnessed you know black people assaulting Hispanics or the brothers, whatever you want to call them. Um, or vice and vice versa. It was that epidemic. I couldn't understand it. I wish I was ready for it. Um, and one incident was a a gentleman got what was a lot of he got hit with a I don't know, he was kind of drunk and he bumped into some people's car, and the owners came out and assaulted him. You know, allegedly the man didn't make it out. He didn't make it out. But this is just a story about how you know taking away people's rights, and it could lead to poverty. Uh um all right, so let me continue on with another story, man. And with this, there's tons of stories, and just to bend out a few stories, man. All right. This goes on. This happened in LA, man. Around the area, Hollywood area. There was a club where people frequent. Um. Oh no, that's not. Yeah, that area was a at gang at the time. Well, want to say what gang. I mean, I don't know. I don't know how to explain it, man, because it's kind of like a messed up story. Shit. Oh, excuse. I'm sorry, I didn't want to start. I don't know how to explain it. All right. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm gonna have to restart this again. Sorry, I don't know how to put it. I'm sorry. I skipped a couple seconds. Here we go. All right. The story goes on, man. That all right. There was some gang members. MS13. Frequenting that club. And allegedly, two gentlemen got into an argument over a girl. You know, they were fighting over a girl, and allegedly, fires rang, um, bullets rang out, and they ended up hitting the girl. You know what type of girl it was? You know that club was frequented by MS13. The story goes, um, and they end up struggling over a girl. They end up getting to a little disagreement, and they end up firing, hitting the girl. You know, and so the story goes. You know, there's tons of stories. You know, another time there was another gang member, some MS13 gang members, hanging out with some girl, and their rivals happened to come by. You know, their rivals. You know, Temple Street. You know, this is in LA. On the street. You know, coming by to retaliate or just always challenging their rivals. You know, so they're doing drive-by shoot. They end up shooting a girl. You know, trying to trying to shoot a MS gang member, end up shooting a girl. So MS retaliated, MS retaliated by going back to that area and um acting as drug buyers, acting as looking for dope, and end up retaliating, shooting the guy from Temple Street. You know, man, and there's tons of stories that I want to talk about, man, and I just want to vent out, man. There's a lot of PTSD, man, where all this shit come from, man. And it could fucking literally discourage you in life, you know, if you don't get the right information, um you'll literally you know, make you stop thinking of making you stop thinking about your future, Um this is reality, man. This is, you know, I'm I'm not trying to influence these things in any way, This is just reality, and this will happen back in those times, And it could really mislead you, mislead someone in their future, All right, so man, that's just one story. Let me get back to all right, man. There's a gang called Tortilla Flats and G13, Gardena 13, if I'm not correct, I'm correct. Um, There were rivals at time. There were rivals at the time, and people who lived around the area know what was going on, know what's up, you know. You know, some people knew what was going on. Some people didn't. It was around them. You couldn't you couldn't blame them. You can't blame them. So there's a story about this happening around 1998, man. Where tortilla flats and West Gardena gang, West Side Gardena gang, Mexican American gang, or both. They both American American gang, Hispanic American gangs. They were going at it, man. Well, the story goes, one time, man. Two guys were riding a bicycle, man. Two guys were riding a bicycle in the Gardena area, man. Gang members, Cortez and everything, straight up gang members, they were riding a bicycle. One was riding on handlebars, I get they had a cruiser. Um, man, bad timing, man. Bad timing, Bad timing, wrong, Especially being in that style, it's bad timing, Their rivals were um were hunting that night. They were hunting that night, and they got what they wanted, man. The two guys were Gardena. They were West Side Gardena 13. And their rivals came by, driving by, just challenging their rivals, and the story goes that the tortilla flat gang member, you know spotted them, and just did a walk up, execution style, um eventually, yeah, man, he executed both of them, the guys had no chance, especially if the gang member had a good weapon, and they had no chance, man. The guys were executed, in their gang area, this is a true story, people do not talk about it, just stories, the public figure finds out, yeah, man. Eventually, their that was their the fellas were found laid down, on the street, somewhere in the area over there, Gardena, guys were executed, by their rivals. This happened in '98, I think. And yeah, man. Mentally, those areas, man. Might think that things happen, man, but they're definitely with the business, definitely, um, definitely, you know, just in their style, Okay, man. That's just one story I wanna bring out, man. you know, from from the public, where the public finds out, and um, man, and like this, there's a lot of stories, man, that people did not understand at the time, man. People from the people turn out to be just hippies, hippies didn't, they don't know, they didn't want no part of gangs, they didn't know, they don't understand, they didn't understand, people didn't know what they were fighting about, and I see a lot of people were, there's people in jail, and it's sad, man, because there's ways where you could try to stay from away from that, man. You could distance yourself and all that stuff, that stuff doesn't really have to happen, another time there was a gentleman, like a gentleman, a black male. He was at the mall one time. I believe he was at the Galleria Mall, man, in the South Bay, out there in Lawndale, somewhere, Lawndale, California. He was walking around, man. He was showing off some jewelry, man. He was showing off some jewelry, and they might have recognized him in the area, That guy frequent in the area, in the area where these gangs frequent, So they might have recognized him, and they stopped him, man. They stopped him, and they told him, man, we want your jewelry, man. We want your stuff, man. We want your things, man. I don't know if they got it from him or what, but they did harass him, They did harass him at the mall. He almost got pulled, I don't know if they took his jewelry or he did got pulled, but just some stories, man, about how these gangs are dangerous, man. These little gangs that might be big gangs, but these gangs are definitely effective, and that gang on 204th Street and Tortilla Flats, they used to be the same gangs, They got a street in Tortilla Flats, 204, 4th Street, and I know because I used to live in that area and I've seen the street, and you know, other thing with the T and the diamond in the middle, that used to stand for and the F at the end, that used to stand for 204. They put the T, the diamond was for the zero, and the F was for the four. And they eventually were two cliques, but somehow they distanced themselves from each other. And like I said, man, there's a lot of stories, man. It's good to vent out, man. Not everybody like to hear these things, man, but reality is reality, and you won't. I mean, you won't. Just like when you're messing up, and just like cops and bad cops or whatever, just like I don't know how to say it. Excuse me. I don't know how to. What I'm trying to say that everything everything bad pays at the end, man. You know, it comes with a price, man. You know, we think that we think that doing our thing, taking matters into our own. No, I don't even want to say it that way. And we just think that us doing what we think is right is always gonna be okay, and eventually it's not, man. It's just terrible, man. And with that, I'm gonna leave these stories, and we'll try to get back at some more stories, and I'll try to just vent out some of the stories that I've known from that get around, you know they get around the public at the time, and we'll go from there, man. Thank you very much, man. Just some stories that you know, this is what misleads people, you know, it's about being where you want to be, man. You don't want to be an average, or you know, or how you say it, it's all about where you want to be, man. Um, these things should never have there should have been mental PTSD classes, for people, that want to go and rehabilitate, and cause all that stuff came with a price, man. Even the riots, man. When the riots happened back in '92, man, we thought people were just looting, people were just looting, and burning up from what I heard, people that were still gangs were still going after each other, people still gang members still shot each other, and it was supposed to be looting and protesting against cops, or and with that, I'll leave it at that right now for now, and I'll come back with some more stories. Thank you. I'll be back.